order, please rise for the pledge of allegiance and the invocation following. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials. Grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Goodar, Green,
Here.
LaFleur,
Here.
Mistrovich,
Here.
Ricks,
Here.
Schultz, Yark.
Here. We have two, and I just ran out of ink. Nope, that's not a sign. We have two of our councilmen gone tonight. We need two separate motions to excuse them. Councilman Gooder is at work. He's stuck there for a while. And Councilman Schultz has come up with the flu bug today. So if we could have motion, two separate motions to excuse them from tonight's meeting.
I make a motion to excuse Counselor Schultz from tonight's meeting.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on that? Hope it feels better. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. How about for Jeff Goodar?
Make a motion to excuse Jeff Goodar from tonight's meeting.
Support. Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Approval of minutes for the regular meeting of April 21st. Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Being not, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We had our budget workshop on April 22nd. We need a motion for those minutes also.
So moved.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on those minutes? Being not, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We also had the budget workshop on April 28th. Is there a motion for those minutes?
So moved.
Support.
What's been made and supported. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Motion does pass. Move on to audience comments on any non-agenda items. If anybody'd like to address the city council, we ask you to come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Would anybody like to address city council at this time? We will move on. Adoption of agenda. Mr. City Manager, you have a change?
I have one change. I'd like to add item 6, which would be a request from the Richmond Flower Shop for a tent sale.
Okay. City council, any changes?
No.
A motion to accept the agenda as amended?
Move to accept the agenda as amended. Support.
What's been made and supported. Is there any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. I feel like I'm alone when I don't have, I'm not getting an echo here, you know?
You could just spread out.
Yeah. Okay, we move on to consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
What's been made and seconded? There's no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to items for consideration, which we now have 6. First one is consideration of resolution number 2014-4, recognizing the retirement of Chaplain Tom Keefe from the United Methodist Church. Mr. City Manager?
The City Council is scheduled to consider approving Resolution 2014-4, a resolution recognizing Pastor Tom Keefe. Pastor Keefe is stepping down from the Richmond Chaplains Group after serving on the group since 2010. The chaplains assist public safety departments and the residents of the community during emergencies.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2014-4, a resolution recognizing Pastor Tom Keefe's years of service to the community and to the Richmond Chaplains Group.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Pastor, you come up here where the TV can catch us. Got something here we'd like you to have for eternity, or at least the Canadian Lakes when you retire here soon. But I'd like to read it. Whereas Pastor Tom Keith has served for 4 years at the First United Methodist Church of Richmond and has served in the ministry since 1977. And whereas part of the Richmond area pastors, Pastor Keith led the community in prayer during the ceremonies recognizing the National Day of Prayer within the city of Richmond. And whereas Pastor Keith has served since 2010 on the Richmond Area Chaplains Group, an organization that assists public safety departments and the residents of the community during emergencies. And whereas Pastor Tom Keith has earned and justly deserves this public recognition for his many years of service to our community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Richmond City Council does hereby urge our citizens to join with us in extending to Pastor Tom Keith our deep appreciation for his distinguished service with the Richmond Area Chaplains Group and the Richmond community. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And thank
If I could just say something for a minute, my wife and I have lived in 6 different communities as a pastor in different places, and they've all been good communities, but Richmond is the most organized, the best community that works together, not perfect, but the best community that works together with the city council, EMS, the police, the fire department, and you know, it's a great community and you're great people, and I appreciate the 4 years we've been here.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Is there any comments from the city council on this?
I have a question, is it Upper or Lower Lakes?
We live in the Upper Lakes, we have a vote on the Lower Lakes.
Okay. Enjoy it.
Can we visit? Any audience participation on this? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion passes. Item number 2 is consideration of resolution number 2014-5, recognition of Police Week. Mr. City Manager.
The Chief of Police is recommending that a resolution recognizing May 11th through May 17th, 2014 as National Police Week for the City of Richmond be adopted by the council. Also, on Thursday, May 15th at 7 p.m. at the Richmond Police Department lobby, the Richmond Police Department will be presenting awards to police officers and civilians for their contributions to the department and to the City of Richmond. The Chief has requested that the mayor read the resolution at that time.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2014-5, the resolution designating May 11th through May 17th, 2014 as National Police Week.
Support.
It's been made and supported. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I did note in the background brief that you will be out of town, I believe, out of the state on that night, so council members, somebody else may need to read the resolution.
The Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yeah.
okay.
I talked to him today, just make sure that he was in town. I have my son-in-law is retiring from the Marines after 20 years, so I will be in North Carolina for his ceremony on Thursday morning. So, Friday morning. So I will not be able to make that. But of course, Chief, we appreciate everything that you do and your whole team does for the city of Richmond. And, happy National Police Week. And you want to come up and say something, Chief?
I'll save it for the ceremony.
Okay, all right. And they are nice ceremonies, which is wide open to the public. And that is on Thursday. I don't have it right smack in front of me here. It's going to be on Thursday, the 15th at 7 o'clock. It's the police award ceremony over at the police post. That's the 15th. May 15th. Okay. Any comments from the city council on this issue? Anything from the audience? What do you expect? Yeah, dessert afterwards. Sure, the pastors will all be there, I'm sure.
Oh, wait, they haven't been there in the past.
Huh?
You guys are invited to come. We need somebody to pray. Just saying. It's nighttime, 7 p.m.
Okay, back to the table. If there's nothing else, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 3 is consideration of bid award pavement marking contract 2014 PM1. Mr. City Manager.
Bid opening took place on Thursday, April 24th, for the pavement marking contract, mainly Division Road and 31 Mile Road. We received one bid in the amount of $9,189 from PK Contracting. Administration is recommending awarding the contract to PK Contracting.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move to award pavement marking contract 2014 PM1 to PK Contracting with expense of $4,376.35 charged to the appropriate line item, contractual services, traffic services, major street fund, and $4,813.35 charged to the appropriate line item, contract services, traffic services, local street fund.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Any reason AS didn't? Did we ever hear anything from AS? RS, I'm sorry, RS.
No, I did not, and I sent them a request for proposal.
Yeah. And they're the only two ones in the area that do this.
This type of paint, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, the last time I did Division Road, PK was the only bidder back then, I think that was in 2004.
Really? Okay. Okay, very good. Any other discussion? Any audience participation on this? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Item number 4 is consideration bid award water and sewer system materials. Mr. City Manager.
Bid requests were sent out to companies for water and sewer material supply contracts. We received proposals from 3 companies that were opened on Monday, April 18th. We're recommending that Aetna be awarded the water service and water main material contracts, and that HD Supply be awarded the sewer lead material.
Thank you. We have 3 separate motions. Who would like to make the first one?
I'll make the first motion to award the water service materials supply to Aetna Supply Company at the unit prices as submitted for the time period May 1st, 2014 to April 30th, 2015, with expenses charged to the appropriate line item, system materials, system expense, water fund.
Support.
It's been made and supported. Any discussion on the water service materials? Any audience participation on this? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion passes. We also have one for the water main materials. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to award the water main material supply to Aetna Supply Company at the unit prices as submitted for the time period May 1st, 2014 to April 30th, 2015, with the expenses charged to the appropriate line item, systems material, systems expense, sanitary sewer fund.
Support.
It's been made and supported.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
The bottom of that motion should read, the line item is 591, 548, 770, and it should be system materials, system expense, water fund, and then the third one should say sanitary sewer fund. I'm sorry, I got those mixed up when I was doing them.
Okay. So the line item numbers just switch also?
Yes.
Okay. Jamie, you made the motion. Are you good with that?
Yes.
Okay. And Karen, you caught what was going on there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I'm sorry, who supported that?
I did.
Yeah.
You did? Okay. Okay, any discussion? It's pretty routine stuff. Anything from the audience? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We now have the award for the sewer lead materials. Is there a motion?
I move to award the sewer lead material supply to HD Supply Waterworks at the unit prices as submitted for the time period May 1st, 2012. Is that,
Yeah.
May 1st, 2014 to April 30th, 2015, with expense charged to the appropriate line item, systems, material, systems expense, sanitary sewer fund.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. This is his way of getting back
Yeah.
since he's retiring.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Somebody's out the door
Oh,
already.
yeah.
I just wanted to point out that this is one of the reasons why I'm retired.
Yeah.
I can't keep the stuff straight anymore.
That's good, that's good. Any discussion on this motion? Any audience discussion on this motion? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 5 is consideration of appointment to the Recreation Board. Mr. City Manager?
As of March 31st, 2014, the terms for Victoria Hildreth, Michael Uriel, and Lenore Warren have expired on the Recreation Board. Before you tonight is the application from Lenore Warren to be reappointed.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to reappoint Lenore Warren to the Recreation Board for a 2-year term with an expiration date of March 31st, 2016.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion?
Michael Uriel reapproved, I believe, the previous opening.
We have one opening right now. Lenore's done a good job.
Yes.
Her attendance has been good. Glad that she resigned.
I believe she currently serves as vice chair.
Oh, yeah, okay. Any other discussion? Any audience comments on this? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Thank you, Lenore. Last item is the Richmond Flower Shop's request for a special event. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider a special event request from Al and Teresa Maniaci, the owners of Richmond Flower Shop. That they would like to be allowed to place a 10 by 20 tent in the pocket park of the municipal parking lot to sell flowers around Mother's Day weekend, the Tuesday before through the Tuesday after is the time frame they've requested. I previously had emailed their letter out to council over the weekend. Also before you tonight are some pictures and aerial photos that Troy and I were able to put together, showing a couple alternative locations. And I'll leave it to council.
I'm going to ask council, it's unusual when we amend our agenda, and timing is everything for this request. And that's why when the city manager and I were talking about the agenda, I said, you know, council can deal with this. But what I'd like to do is suspend the rules on a motion so that we can have discussion on this first. Is everybody good with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we've suspended the motion at this time, and I'll call for it when I believe we're all done talking about it. Teresa, would you like to talk to us about this?
Again, thank you for putting it up on the table. We're requesting to put it out there for Tuesday through Tuesday to be able to draw attraction to the downtown to sell flowers for Mother's Day. There is nobody along the streets of Main Street that's selling any flowers like that, and I really think it could make an impact, help our business, help my employees have more hours, and to create some atmosphere down there. So we're looking to get your approval to put up the tent, to merchandise some big ticket flower pots and things like that.
Okay. What kind of hours are you looking at?
It would be the same hours, 9 to 5. We are gonna be open Saturday till 5, and then Sunday we'll be open from 10 till 3.
10 to 3.
And then
okay.
resume normal hours the rest of the week.
Okay. Any other questions while we have Teresa up?
I guess I'm trying to, I mean, I have the drawing, but we talk about, is that, what, 10 by 20? And,
Is it actually two separate tents that you're using?
No, it's just one.
Oh, it's one big tent? Okay.
try to visualize 10 feet out from
The front edge of the
the
building.
front. Was it about, each slab of that concrete's about, what, 4 or 5 feet?
5 feet.
So it's actually going nearly into the right of way. There's about,
It's close. I stood out there with Al this afternoon or morning, I can't remember now. And if you're at the front edge of the tent, you're pretty close to that tree. I did, kind of in talking with a couple council members, come up, obviously, and I talked to Al, I wasn't able to talk to Teresa about a couple different alternative locations. One that the city administration had was to put it in the parking lot, get it off of Main Street, and kind of keep that area free for pedestrians. There is kind of a third alternative that I've talked to some people about earlier tonight, and I may have talked to some on the phone. I've kind of sketched it out here, and I'll pass this down, would be to kind of rotate the tent perpendicular to Main Street, so that the short edge is kind of along Main, but yet keep it in the pocket park. More up against their building, it'd kind of be in front of the benches, and I kind of labeled it alternate 3. It would keep it close. When I talked to Al earlier, his concern with putting it back in the parking lot is you lose some of that visibility.
Yeah.
Obviously, administration's concern is you get too close to the street and it's just kind of blocks some of the flow. So I'll pass this down as kind of like an alternate 3, if you can kind of see what I'm drawing as the top picture there. I labeled it. Might be one other alternative to consider.
That's kind of what I would go along with, is have the length going the length of your building, rather than up front.
The length of the street.
parallel
and
to the
close.
street.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a perfect idea. I never
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah, I think it'll.
So
it'll fit
kudos
in
to
there
whoever
nice.
thought about that.
Because it still
Yeah.
gives you frontage,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yet when people come to the
Yep.
pocket park, they still have that whole
Perfect,
side view,
yeah.
so. yep.
I never would have thought about that, so whoever did that, thank you.
when you're talking alternate 3, is alternate 3 starting here or somewhere?
No, I'm saying start with the front edge of the building.
I'll start with the
Yeah,
front edge.
start with the building.
Yeah.
There should
The
be
point of
plenty.
view of this picture goes like this. You
Yeah, I just
see
want to make
the-
sure that's what we're talking, that
Yep.
this is what you were thinking.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the sidewalk
There's a
is
row
still
of-
full
Right.
accessible, so
There's a row of,
I think that'll work out nice.
of
Yeah, it's hard, I didn't take it perfectly for this angle of what I was
Okay, I just wanted,
proposing.
Yeah.
It would be in line with the row of bricks that alternate, that go
Yeah, I think that's what I.
perpendicular
we're all
to the
thinking about
street.
the corner.
Mhm.
Say XXX.
Yeah, going this way. No, that's perfect. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we have so many different things, you know, the trees are all planted along the front there, and then we have the monument and everything, you know, you can see by the picture on the bottom there. And with all the bicycle people and everything else that we have running through, you know, hopefully, you know, a lot more through there, it's creating, that could create a problem if you were that far out. But I have no problem, you know, unfortunately, it's city property right next to your building, and, you know, you have to come and see us, but, you know, it's a special holiday.
Yep.
And, it definitely goes along with, the holiday. So I think it's a good service for the business to produce also. So, I'm all for it. I have very little problem. I would have the administration make sure that the tent is set the way we're talking.
Yep.
Not, you know, just work with who's ever if Al's putting the tent up, who's ever
Yep.
putting the tent up.
I can work with them, I'm sure.
We'll let
Like I
you
said, I
help.
was up there today, and I'm sure they're willing to work with us.
Yeah. That's not a stake tent.
No.
Okay. Yeah, we'd probably have a fit. Probably stakes through our bricks. Is there anything else?
So the proposed location, would that, I see some benches there, would the benches be inside the tent?
It'd be
or
just in, what I'm suggesting would be right in front of.
In front of the tent?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Or in front of the benches, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And this time of year, I
And
mean,
they
you
may-
see
it may
that
block
more
the
enough. This
use of
time of year, you
those
really don't have
benches.
people sitting on those benches right now. Especially over there, because quite often they're blocked by the sun, where the other side isn't blocked by the sun.
And certainly, as you mentioned, Mr. Mayor, this is public property, they need to come to the council first. It'd be a different matter if it was Memorial Day weekend with the nature of that park, but I
Yeah.
think with it being Mother's Day weekend, it's, something
Mhm.
to consider.
So like hanging pots, that kind of stuff?
Hanging baskets, porch pots, things like that.
Yeah.
Watering cans, that have a flower in them and stuff like that.
Okay. And you're securing this by having drop downs on the tent? or-
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Just, I mean, I'm good with the locate, I mean, in general, in fact, I just thought it was just too much into the sidewalk.
Mhm.
Even if it was even up to that first slab of concrete, 5 foot forward of the building, I think there's enough to pass to. So wherever that 10 by 20, I just think the original plan was too far into the sidewalk. But if it ends, my feeling, if it protrudes a little past the building and it works, then that's fine from my perspective.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will have a motion
I make-
before any further discussion. Go ahead, Jamie.
I make a motion to approve the tent request from the Richmond Flower Shop from May 6th to May 13th, 2014, with the following location, what we considered alternate 3.
Support.
Okay. What's been made and supported. Any other comments at the table here? Anything from the audience? Back to the table? I'd say this is exactly what we want to see, if at all possible, by our businesses. Do some things, excite Main Street.
Yes, absolutely.
EDC person, you know that.
That's why I like
Yeah,
alternate
these are the
3.
types of things we need to promote.
It's like shutting down the street for the bike shop there.
Right.
I mean, those type of things bring attention to what's
Yeah.
going on.
And Saturday morning, I was told it was just loaded with bikes there. Sunday, when the weather wasn't so great, but I didn't get uptown to see it. I had to go elsewhere, but I heard there was a ton of bikes up there, and then they go and eat and, everything else. So those are types of things we need to continue to work with. And you talked about precedent, Jamie, at the last one, and, yeah, we're setting a precedent. If they ever come back and want to do it again, we can talk about it again.
Absolutely.
But it's the fact that their business is right there. It just enhances their business and probably will enhance our park to a point by having the flowers laying around there.
There's
I
the
think
business there.
I think it's a fantastic idea. I hope you have lots of sales. It does, it brings more life to downtown. More people walking, more people doing,
Yep.
That
It's
is
supposed to
one
be
of my
done.
biggest things is making sure that people have jobs. And I like to create jobs for people, 'cause things like this help.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay,
It's also helpful of the various men out there that, tend to forget
yes.
to stop, so
Yes.
hopefully it'll be,
there's lots of stops.
Yes.
Because I know that if I don't remember my wife's first Mother's Day, that I'll be in trouble, so.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that with you yet, did we?
Yeah.
It's a new experience.
Stop
Yes. All right, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Good luck. We move on to city manager's comments, sir.
James P. Contracting should begin work on Clarkston Lane tomorrow. They'll start with a lot of curb line removal, sidewalk removal, things like that. They started to drop off some equipment today, so that'll start. The contractor for the gas company began this week, I think even probably a little bit last week, so they're up in the northwest section of town doing kind of the continuation of the work that they began last summer. So they'll be here for quite a bit of the summer, I believe. Paul did contact, and we have a commitment from our new DPW person that we'll be hiring. He'll probably be on about 2 weeks. He had to give 2 weeks to his current employer. Adam Piper-Zach will be joining our team at the DPW. He worked for a well drilling, grew up kind of in the business, and has a lot of experience with equipment, that sort of stuff. And then also just wanted to acknowledge we have a new voice reporter, Kate, and I apologize the last name, Kate. Thank you. Is here taking Caitlin's position.
Welcome. Very good. Moving on, council comments. Michael?
Just want to thank the administration for putting together a great budget packet. We've had, since we've last had our regular council meeting, at 3 budget workshops, very well run, and appreciate the effort, and hopefully we can get that finalized on May 12th.
You're here. Dennis?
I agree with Mike. It is a pleasure working with everybody at the workshop. We get a lot accomplished, and hopefully we can ease the cuts and if we so choose. So.
Hopefully. Jeffrey?
I concur. I mean, again, it's continued to be a challenging economic time, and all the department heads and staff come in prepared to talk about the issues and advocate their best argument for, unfortunately, there's never going to be enough money to do everything we want to do. Unfortunately, we have to say no to some people. But I appreciate all of them putting the most positive light on what they're trying to accomplish. I also want to thank the Richmond area pastors for their effort on the National Day of Prayer. Very nice event, and I think we made it most of the time without any rain. There was just a little mist, but then, fortunately, it always seems to turn out pretty well.
Jamie?
Everything he just said.
Well, I'm sorry I missed the, I have to tell Pastor Igley, I'm sorry I missed it this year. I just couldn't, things have changed in my job, and I could not leave. Yeah, could have been.
It's the
Could have
first
been.
one
It was
rained.
beautiful over in Washington where I was, But, no, we certainly appreciate all your efforts again in keeping that going. Your dad did an outstanding job, and you haven't changed anything. You're doing a great job for us, so we appreciate that. And, the budget workshops have been interesting, to say the least. This next one on May 12th, we probably should film that, because we probably could retain the rights to it, because it should be interesting to try to figure out how to do magic in public. No, but again, the administration, you guys have done a great job, and we're hoping you do a fantastic job on the 12th for us, to come up with some ideas on what we're supposed to do in these trying times. So, with that, we will go to the calendar. Jimmy Schultz isn't here to help me today. Today being the 5th of May, tomorrow is the rec board meeting at 7 o'clock right here at City Hall. The planning commission that is normally scheduled for the second Thursday, which would be this week, the 8th, has been canceled and has been moved to the 22nd right here at City Hall. Of course, Mother's Day is on the 11th. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. On the 12th will be our special budget workshop at 6:30 here at City Hall. At 7 o'clock will be the library board meeting at the library. On the 13th, as far as I know, there is a cable commission meeting at 7 o'clock right here at City Hall. It is National Police Week. Remember our police and all the work that they do to keep us safe. They will be having, as we mentioned earlier, on the 15th, Thursday, everyone is invited at 7 o'clock to the police award ceremony held at the police post. The 19th, 2 weeks from tonight, will be our next regularly scheduled city council meeting. We'll remind you that Memorial Day is celebrated on the 26th at 10 a.m. will be our parade that will start at the high school and work its way to the ceremonies at the north end of town at the Richmond Cemetery. I believe that's it. Is there anything else we needed to add to the calendar? I think that's it. We do have graduation ceremonies on the 30th for our high school seniors. Hope everybody stays safe. Okay, we move on to other business. Is there any other business of the city council this evening? Being not, motion to adjourn be in order.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Thanks for being with us.